Welcome to the Dog Jug. Roger, how's it going? Lysandra filling in for Ross tonight.
Hey, how's it going?
Man,
It's going good. It's so fun to watch some basketball tonight. Looks like we got the win.
Yes,
So
definitely. That was a hell of a win. That was a nail biter there. I don't need that. Cleveland sports has been killing me lately.
Roger?
yes. I'm just still thinking about last night and the awesome time we had visiting Squad Pod at Bougie Sports and Lysandra. It was just an awesome time.
That
was
time.
fun. Everyone should go check it out. They all dressed up as the Dog Jug.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. So much fun.
It was.
A lot of
We
fun.
got a great show for you. And
Right, tonight.
win. And even better, we have to do a little victory chug. So let's
Yes.
bring on Eddie back to the Dog Jug. This is like your
What's
fourth
up?
time on. We have 4 wins. What a coincidence. So you're here to chug that amazing win that we earned 100% of the way.
That's right. First and foremost, thanks for having me. Let me do this every week we win. Hopefully I can drink every week for the rest of the season, into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl. If they do Super Bowl, I will try and match you drink for drink.
PJ Walker's buying. He got the big contract.
Yeah, he got
So
something.
he's buying.
Also,
every Wednesday.
I saw clips of the Squad Pod cosplaying as all of you last night for Halloween. That was awesome as shit. I
was
use
hilarious.
your quota of the F word. So
And,
that was awesome.
you know,
That was,
Some of the bigwigs of the Dog Jug were coming down to us and saying that the ratings actually are down when you're on, Eddie. But we fought back. We said if that means we're winning, we're going to have them on every week.
Damn right.
wins.
All right. Well, you're here.
And
to
W.
while she's Ross tonight, she's actually Lysandra Ross.
Lysandra.
Yes.
Okay, that's clever.
Changed it.
What are you chugging today?
So this is New Trail. Zombies are people too. It is a pumpkin beer with vanilla or maple syrup and vanilla and spices.
Are we going to start
smokes.
getting cancel cultured if we say like zombies and negative words for them?
No, because zombies are people too. And someone get New Trail on the line. I need to get us an endorsement with these guys.
Is it good?
It's fantastic. This is one of my favorite.
Wow.
What percentage alcohol is it?
This one isn't that high. This one's only 5.7, but they have another one, and I can't think of it. It's like a chocolate peanut butter one I had the other night. That was fantastic. That was like 8%.
All right. Well, here, chug this one, and then after we beat Seattle, you can come back on next Wednesday and chug that one.
I could do that. All right. Roger, you chugging with me or?
Yeah. I'm ready to go.
All right. Here we go.
Chug, 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 chug. Roger, you're doing pretty well. Lysandra bowed out early.
I
And he's
did.
going for it. He's going for it.
Nice.
I think he got very close. I don't think he
Yeah,
finished.
it's like the spit. I almost choked on that beer.
Well, we don't want that. Are we going to beat Seattle this weekend?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know how, but they're gonna find a way again. That's a tough place to play. I'm excited to see the Seahawks uniforms. They're going with the throwback blues. That's gonna be sweet. But it's gonna be sweet to beat them while they're wearing those too.
Nice. Well, I can't wait for that, and I can't wait for you to come on next Wednesday and chug your 8% peanut butter cup.
Something like that, yeah. But Wednesday chug. We're chugging every Wednesday, except it will have to be every Wednesday because the show doesn't go on after when they play Thursday night games. Doesn't come on Friday, so yeah, every Wednesday.
You heard it from the man first. Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
All right. Well, thank you, Eddie, for coming on and doing another
Hey.
chug. I hope you're doing another one soon. Go Browns.
Yes, sir. Go Browns.
Ed, thank you. Go Browns, my man.
All right. Well, that was
Love it.
awesome. He killed
Yeah.
that. Now, before we get to our main guest, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do a little dog chug update. I think Lysandra's
Okay.
even going to help out, which is going to be quite fun. So we don't have the nifty graphics today because I was running a little behind schedule. So you're just going to have to make do with our ugly faces, except for Lysandra, of course. So here we go. Former Browns quarterback Brady Quinn got into it with private quarterback coach to Deshaun Quincy Avery this week, arguing about whether Deshaun Watson should be on the field or if Brady Quinn is a gossiping high school chick that doesn't know what he's talking about. This led to some additional squabbling until Brady said, and I quote, "How about we massage this conversation and get it to a happy ending?" Now, let's just jump past the fact that I get, well, there we go. Whole screen went black there for a minute. Let's just get past the fact that I get tongue lashing every time I do a massage joke and focus on what really matters here. The dog chug actually sides with Brady Quinn in this beef because he's an expert in the field of stealing paychecks from the Browns before Deshaun even pressured his first Sadie Hawkins date that he had blue balls and need a relief.
Man. All right, the Browns signed. Here's good news. The Browns signed P.J. Walker to their active roster today, meaning we've gone from promoting an XFL quarterback for a couple spot starts to giving this warrior a season-long contract and relying on him for a significant chunk of the season. He's 2-0, which sounds pretty good, but then again, I'm 2-0 and reading the last two sentences correctly. And I bet if you've seen past chugs, that doesn't give you much hope. I won't screw up the reading of the next story, or fall asleep, or not realize it's not my turn, or start reading this stupid joke again instead of the new one. Ross, Andy, why am I even here? Am I the PJ Walker of this podcast?
No, absolutely not, Roger. You're very valuable to this team.
Definitely.
Lysandra.
Yes, Myles Garrett was named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, as well as Dustin Hopkins being named Special Teams Player of the Week. I know a few of you are out there shitting themselves over PJ Walker starting another game and throwing softballs to the defense, but fuck it. We can steal the Steelers' blueprint and win in the exact same shitty fashion they do. Having one dominant defender that makes shit happen, hitting your kicks from midfield, and the biggest one, Jimmy finally figured out to start paying off the refs.
It's a big one. All right. Since becoming head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski had to deal with a COVID-plagued season his rookie year where he couldn't meet with his new team and had to sit out of his first playoff game due to testing positive. Contending with the quarterback they probably didn't want that had only had one shoulder, but said he was good to go as he sabotaged the rest of his teammates game after game. He spoke ill about the team until they moved on and paid a sex offender the largest guaranteed contract of all time, who got suspended for the majority of the season, and Kevin was forced to make it work with the backup quarterback and the worst defensive performance we here at the Dog Chug have ever seen. He followed that up with said sex offender playing one decent game and then blowing up his shoulder, who once again seems completely disconnected from the team and the Browns might want to move on from, except it's impossible. Meanwhile, anytime the Browns have a negative play, the fan base unites in hating him, despite us having a better record through all this shit than we've ever had before. What's the conclusion? If you thought Obama looked rough after 8 years of office, Kevin Stefanski is going to be lucky if Lana would still fuck him after his haggard ass has completed his tour of duty coaching his cursed team.
Good one.
Well, there's a lot of speculation and conspiracy theories as we move on, flying around on what the hell is going on with Deshaun Watson's shoulder. So Dog Chug is here to give you a timeline recap. First, it was reported after the Titans game, he was experiencing some shoulder discomfort, but would play against the Ravens, but he did not. At that point, the Browns said he wasn't functionally ready, although medically cleared. Then, after the bye week, he still wasn't practicing, and it was said that he had a rotator cuff contusion that would take 2 to 3 weeks to heal, and he was likely to play. Watson said he has a micro tear, but he would be able to play. But apparently wasn't functionally ready because it didn't look like he could lift his arm or throw a pass, and they took the opportunity to bench him after he took a hit and stayed down. Confused yet? Stefanski said he'd start on Sunday. Watson said he wasn't sure. And now it's being reported he has a strain on the subscapularis within the rotator cuff and could miss 4 to 6 weeks. So the hope is he could be back somewhere between Seattle this Sunday through week 12 against Pittsburgh. Well, I hate to be the bearers of bad news. I checked in with Future Manch, and unfortunately, hours before the Ravens game in a few weeks, it's going to be announced that Watson indeed lost his entire arm and shoulder against the Titans. And unless Silicon Valley can build the Winter Storm arm, we're completely fucked.
Winter Storm. Well done.
Jesus.
Winter Soldier arm.
Yes, Winter Soldier arm. You don't get to use that often.
All right, now we have Roger's top 10. So everyone buckle up.
Oh, hold on. I need some beer. The order changed, and now I got to do back-to-back, but that's my fault because I went and do the Lena fuck line. I'm too much of a prude. So Andy had to do that one, and I did the last one.
Oh, but I love Rob.
These, if you've been on social media, even Facebook, man, whew, Facebook's my kind of place, man. They hate everybody on Facebook. But Browns fans, even though we're 4-2, a lot of Browns fans still out there, are all doom and gloom. And these are the top 10 reasons Browns fans think the team sucks despite being 4-2. All right, despite being 4-2. Instead of Beckham's dad and Mayfield drama, we got Brady Quinn and a quarterback coach, a.k.a. diva quarterback mouthpiece drama. Number 9, Gardner Minshew did the shimmy after a rushing touchdown twice. Number 8, street free agents Carson Wentz, Nick Foles, and Colt McCoy are better quarterback options than any quarterback on this roster. Number 7, referees are blowing calls in favor of Cleveland. Seriously, that fucking can't be a good sign. Number 6, Freddie Kitchens' tell-all book is due to hit the shelves for Christmas. So that's gonna. Number 5, PJ Walker has purchased a minority stake in the Cleveland Browns. So he's here to stay. Number 4, Jacoby Brissett has a no-trade clause to Cleveland in his contract. So number 3, Andrew Barry's office fantasy team, Depot's Cucks, is 0-7, so it's just a matter of time. Depot's Cucks. Guess who wrote that? Number 2, Bernie Kosar would rather spend game day hanging with Chiefs fans and Swifties. That's Ed again. The number 1 reason Browns fans think the team sucks despite being 4-2. Being 4-2 with a quarterback that has a bum shoulder in 2023 is just as unnerving as being 2-4 with a quarterback that has a bum shoulder back in 2021. And that, the top 10 reasons.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Well done,
4-2 never felt so dirty.
Excellent
by,
work,
like,
Roger.
4 o'clock, Roger's like, I'm not doing a top 10. And somehow he figured out that was amazing. Well done.
You started it, and then Ed gave me a boost and wrote a couple of them, and the two of you and I just filled in the blanks.
That is awesome. All right. We're going to move the show along. But first, Lysandra, we're going to play a little game involving you.
You got it. You're ready.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
There's a surprise. I forgot to tell you.
Oh no! What are you doing to me?
Basically, you're on the pod squad with your 2 besties, and we're gonna play a little game to see how well you know one of your pod squad. So it's gonna be Lana. We're gonna ask Lana questions, and all you have to do is say, "I think Lana will know this answer," or "I don't think she's gonna know this answer." Super simple.
Okay.
All right. They're all about Kevin Stefanski, her deep crush. She loves him more than anything, as we've detailed on this podcast. You would agree with that? Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's not like a joke or an act. It's like she's serious.
She loves this man. Very much.
All right. So here we go. Here's the first question. Listen carefully. What is Kevin's wife's name? All right. Will she know that?
Heck yeah, she's gonna know her competition for sure.
Michelle.
That is correct. Wow. All right. You're 1 for 1. We started easy, but they do get a little bit harder. So
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
Name 2 of Kevin's children's names. Obviously, get bonus points if you can do all 3.
Okay. How's she going to do on this one?
I don't think she knows this one. He seems pretty private. I haven't heard anything about his kids, so
All right.
Oh, shoot. Juliet. That's his daughter's name. Oh my gosh, his boys are escaping me at the moment. Cannot remember. I cannot. They've completely left my brain.
Wow, you got that one right, Roger. You're keeping track of the score.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on.
What are
to
we
question.
doing again? All right, that's one.
What years was Kevin Stefanski with the Minnesota Vikings?
All right. Will she know this one?
yes.
And do you know this one?
What years was he with the Vikings?
Yes.
Can I take a guess?
Take a guess.
I'm gonna say 2016 to 2020.
All right. That is not correct. Let's see how she does.
Oh my. Andy, you're asking me because I don't remember off the top of my head. Did he get there in 15? 15 to, because he came here in 20, so 15 to 19?
Is that your final answer?
It is right now. I don't even know if that's right.
That is actually not correct. He started working for Minnesota all the way back in 2006. And
He was there forever.
He was there forever.
Very long time.
Okay, that's 1 and 1.
Wait, she's 2 and wait, you said
Oh, she's 2.
you said she
Shit.
wouldn't know that, didn't you? I don't even remember what you said.
I don't know.
Okay, it's 2 to
That
1.
short-term memory, man. That Rocky Mountain High. Sometimes I don't.
All right.
Where did Kevin Stefanski go to high school?
No.
She will not know that. Okay.
St. Joseph. St. Joseph.
Very
In
good.
Philly.
That is correct.
Oh,
You got that one wrong.
we got
So
a
I think-
stage 5 clinger here, man.
It might be 2 and 2. All right, let's continue.
Who is Kevin Stefanski's father?
He's a well-known guy. He has a pretty big position with another franchise. Will she know that?
She has to know that.
All right.
Ed. And he was an executive with the New York Knicks.
So she was close. It was the Detroit Pistons. But we're going to give that to you and her. So you're 3 and 2 now. Let's move on.
In your most vivid dreams, what is Kevin Stefanski's favorite sexual position?
Now, on this one, I guess you're just trying to see if you can match.
Okay, can you repeat that question?
In her wildest dreams, what's his favorite sexual position?
Oh man. Okay.
Holy smokes.
You're just trying to see if you can match here.
I'm gonna have to say reverse cowgirl.
All right. Let's see if she said reverse cowgirl.
Me on top.
I mean, it could be. You know what? Let's give that one to her. All right. Let's continue.
What is Kevin's middle name?
Oh, she has to know that. She
All
knows where
right.
we went to high school.
Lawrence.
Lawrence is correct.
Nice.
What religion is Kevin Stefanski?
No.
Tony Grossi would say Polish. All right, you don't think she's gonna know this one? All right, let's find
Yeah.
out.
Catholic.
And that is correct. She did know that one. I think you're 5 and Roger. What's the count?
I don't know. I lost count. I think it's 6 to 3.
6 to 3. I'll take it.
All right.
What degree?
Sounds good to me.
He graduated from Pitt, but what degree did he graduate with?
So, what degree did he graduate college with?
She would know that. Because I believe he.
You want to get your full thought?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say. He went to a pretty good school, didn't he?
You went to Pitt.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's see if
I
she
I
knows.
want to say communication, but I don't know if that's right. Ed.
Whoops. And by the way, that was right. And now I just lost my place, so we're in a little bit of trouble here. Let's see.
Catholic.
Okay. Gotta just go to the next. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's move on.
It's okay.
I want to say communication,
Oh.
but I don't know if that's right.
How old is Kevin Stefanski?
How old is Kevin Stefanski?
She definitely knows that.
Oh, do you know how old he is?
Oh gosh, he's in his. What is he? 38.
He was 38 when he.
Uh-oh, we lost Andy.
We lost Andy.
Oh,
That's
I know.
yeah, he's the one doing this live stream. So hopefully we're still streaming, but I don't even know that. It didn't say stream has ended. There he is.
We're still
Wow.
live.
You know what? That happened earlier. I think Andy's house every Halloween is haunted because crazy things happen on the show every Halloween. And I think it's haunted, his house at Halloween time. You're back. Okay, you're safe.
You okay there, Andy?
Yes. I don't know what's going on. Actually, I think I know what's going on, but we're going to power through.
Yes.
42.
Yeah. So sorry, you said you would know that one. She said 42, but let's see if she changes her answer.
41. 41 is 23, right? He's 41.
She was asking if it's 2023 because she couldn't remember. It is 2023, and he is 41, so she got that right. Good job. All right, we're almost done here.
Okay, what would be the most efficient way to murder Michelle Stefanski?
We'll just power through. She did not answer this one. She refused.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh!
Come on, you've thought about this.
What?
Okay, there. Yeah, don't ask her to murder anyone. I think she's guilty of murder. That's why she's being so deceptive about it. But anyway,
She's already plotting. So
let's go to the last question.
When is Kevin Stefanski and Michelle's wedding anniversary?
Do you know the date of her wedding anniversary?
No.
Will she know it?
Mm-mm.
Would she be able to come like within a month?
I'll give that to her, but I don't think she knows the exact date.
All right, here we go.
I don't know. I think it's sometime in the summer though. I think it's in July sometime, maybe June or July.
June 14th. That's pretty amazing.
Do you know how much of a stalker I had to be to find that information out?
That's awesome.
I think it's clear that you do know your Pod Squad member very well. No,
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
computer. Let's get rid of that. Let's move this down here. Okay. Gee,
We talk every day, so.
full equipment failure. All right. Now we're gonna move the show along. We're gonna bring on our feature guest.
Right on.
Yes.
Roger, why don't you talk him up?
Well, we just he was a member of 216. We tried to bring him in last year during Cavs season, and I screwed it up. And then the season ended, and everything was. So we had an opportunity, and I'm going to be honest with you. I scheduled tonight's Cavs basically because I was pissed off at the Browns about 3 weeks ago. I think we just got done losing to Baltimore. I'm like, you know what? By the time Cavs season starts, the Browns are going to be like 1-5. So I figured we'd schedule this show tonight. No, tonight the Cavs play is an exciting game. I know that he does the Across the Cavs podcast for Network 216. So why don't we just bring him in? Why don't we bring Zach in?
Welcome to the Dog Chug, Zach. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure to be here. Emotional first game.
Definitely.
And all that matters right at the end of the day is the Cavs are 1-0, and it's the first time. Here's the first nugget. First nugget got it from the broadcast, end of the game. It's the first time in 23 years they won their season opener on the road. This year's going to be special.
That's awesome. Well done, Cavs. That was really fun. I didn't remember how much I missed basketball before I started watching today.
it comes at you so fast, right? Because the offseason feels so long for any sport. With the Browns, I mean, you end in best case, dream case, you end in February. You still have to wait March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 months of games that don't count. Preseason hype that isn't real. And then you get to the regular season. And it's only a few months with basketball. We have Cavs haven't played since the Knicks lost. It's been a forever wait. Knicks fans bragging. They come back and they start 1-0, and it's the second game winner in a row against the Nets after Okoro last year.
Yeah, that was awesome. What was I going to say? This is just such a fun team. This team is just everyone on the team. I love watching. I don't remember it being like this with the LeBron years, so stoked to be able to see him again all season long. It's gonna be fun, and this takes a lot of pressure off the Browns. I'm not too freaking out about PJ Walker starting.
Well, hey, everyone's talking about Myles Garrett now. He's got the minority ownership. He's a brand ambassador. His jersey's on sale in the team shop already. They waste no time with this stuff, So I don't know if I'll buy one per se, but watching what he did on Sunday. His energy coming to the Cavs is going to help both sides. I think it's going to raise him. Him watching the Cavs is going to raise him and the rest of the defense with him. And on the Cavs side, I mean, you got the king of just making plays in your ownership squad. I don't know any other teams that have active athletes really as ambassadors for other teams in their city.
Yeah, what a cool move. Gotta love it. So tell us about the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, this Network 216 is actually the third network that Across the Cavs has been a part of. It's now we just hit the 4 years since episode 1. When I was in school, I had a radio show and I graduated. And for the first 2 years out, you miss having an audience. And I decided that I was going to seek out existing podcasts or networks to see if I can lend my voice or opportunity. I've been a Cavs fan since I was 7 years old. So always loved talking about them, but basketball as a whole. My show in school was about basketball, football, baseball, hockey. This was 2018 for reference. I'm 28 now. And I guess that makes me young in the Network 216 eyeballs. But
there you go.
Long story short, got into a network called Across the Board. They had this brand new Cavs show. I got lucky that they were Ohio sports fans. That's just a complete coincidence. So I took over Across the Cavs October 22nd, 2019 with 5 Twitter followers, no episodes. I've been running with it ever since. That network was cool. It was a lot of fun, but it wasn't going anywhere. I was fine staying with it. It was a passion project. So I found another network. The guy who had brought me in said he's cool, so I moved on. It was called the Basketball Podcast Network, now disbanded, but it was really cool. First time getting the ad revenue, ad opportunities. We were partners with DraftKings for a while, and we had networks, pods, all 30 teams. But then that disbanded in April, and I actually had 5 networks reach out to me in the span of 2 weeks, and it was a weird time because I was just getting, used to everything and whatnot. I love the Cavs. This is while we're in the big part of the season, right? So there's no more affiliation. So waited out the season. As soon as I talked to Tyler and Jacob, thought this was a really cool network because everything is Ohio sports. The way our group chat works and flows. Obviously, I don't share the same football allegiance. We're not here to talk about that because I still support the Cleveland Browns regardless of that.
Hell yeah.
And the camaraderie has been great. Oh, yeah. The camaraderie has been great. This is my first time on with you 3. Finally got on with Eddie and Casey a few weeks ago. Hopefully we'll get the rest of the gang soon. But it's been a blast. The camaraderie, the support for boosting everybody's content, and just the rapport has been a lot of fun. So now that we finally have a Cavs game, feels like I'm finally out of my off-season hibernation. Not that I've been hibernating. I'm posting nonstop. But we're finally awake, and people finally care because the games are back. But that's the Across the Cavs story. I've been a Cavs fan, as I mentioned, for 21 years, and basketball has been my passion, what I've loved since I was very, very young, probably fresh out of diapers, backyard shooting, N64 I grew up with every game, court in our backyard, mini hoop in the basement, New Jersey Nets season tickets for those years growing up in Jersey. It's been unbelievable.
Wow. So where were you 2016 Game 7.
I was on a plane to the Netherlands because
Oh my god!
that
Wow.
flight was booked in March, I believe, a family trip. And what happened was when the Cavs went down 3-1, Game 5, and I don't miss playoff games ever. But I was a little nervous. Game 5, I made plans to go see Neighbors 2 in theaters with a buddy who's not even a sports fan for the start of Game 5. We roll in the start of the second quarter. I'm like, hey, you want to stay and watch a little bit? He's like, sure. He's not a big sports fan. We watched the Super Bowl together 5 years earlier. I've never watched sports with him since Game 5. Things were going crazy. You have Kyrie and LeBron both going for 40, just playing such good basketball. Game ends. He goes home. See you, man. So then Game 6, I'm not missing a lick. I want to watch. I'm not nervous. I'm hyped. But I knew, guys, if the Cavs won Game 6, this is the last Cavs game I'm watching in real time this season. And I'm not a DVR person. I'm not a record and watch later. If I miss it live, that's it. The exception would be now. I did rewatch Heat Nuggets Game 1. This is probably the first time I've ever rewatched a game that's already happened, knowing the result. I can't do that. I'm too plugged in what's happening. But not to make this boring, Game 6 ends. I'm like, I can't watch Game 7. So we land. We get off in the Netherlands. There was a connecting flight 3 hours away. I look at my phone. I have a billion messages. Who do I see the score from? AOL.com. AOL.com tells me that the Cavs won the finals. And then I sit down. I pull up YouTube, and they had this great 15-minute recap of every big play, the block, the shot, pretty much every action play from the game. And then a month later, when I finally had time, I was home. I rewatched the game. But that day for me, I did miss it live, but finding out was incredible. Being in the air for 6.5 hours, no idea what's going on. I'm clueless what's happening down below in the Bay Area. And to find out they won, the way they did, seeing that they held the best team in NBA history scoreless for the final 5 minutes of a Game 7 in the hardest building to win in the last 15 years. That's really as perfect a LeBron brings title to Cleveland moment as you could have ever dreamed of.
All right. Well, I'm going to demand the Cavs go win another one. Please clear your schedule this June. Do not make any plans.
Right.
I will not. Nothing. I'll be wherever I am. I'm watching. Now, I think even from 7 years ago, it's a little easier to find access to watching, no matter how far you're going. So it ain't happening twice.
Well, that is awesome.
In 97, I missed the World Series Game 7. I was stuck in Istanbul. I know how it is, man. The traveling of chickens were on the airplane. It was nuts. I missed the whole thing. So I understand.
It's tough. It's tough when you have to miss the big ones, right? Especially, right, Roger, because you were able to watch the first 6 games, I would presume, right? It's just Game 7.
That's awful.
It's tough.
I have to ask you, I'm scrolling your page, right, and I see that you had one of your guests. How do you know Ian Eagle?
Yeah,
give me that look. I sent Ross a message to our DM, our production DM. I was like, hey, Zach, our guest this Wednesday, had just a casual conversation. He had Ian Eagle on.
Yeah, he's
like, holy shit.
Good. I actually go back way back with Ian, although I went to him and Bruce Beck host a broadcasting camp, and I was interested in the young age in play-by-play, which I've actually been doing for a long time. I do college sports play-by-play, any sport you can think of. And so I went to that camp. I think I was 12 or 13. We didn't stay in touch, but the two of them ran it, so met him then. I got to college. I'm a junior. I had this project I was assigned. I joined the mentorship program looking for career direction, and they said, hey, you want to be an announcer? Why don't you talk to all 30 teams in the NBA, see if they'll put their announcer on with you? And long story short, I actually finished that project in 10 months, all 30 teams. At that time, rest in peace, was I did have the late Fred McLeod. I have talked and had on the pod Rafa, Tim Alcorn, and John Michael, all great people. Have met 2 of them in person, hopefully Rafa this year. But with Ian, he was the 29th conversation in that project. He was extremely nice. He's been open whenever I've needed advice, someone to talk to. And none of our conversations that we've ever had were public, right? Because, yeah, they're recorded, but you know how it is. You're talking to an acquaintance, someone who's trying to help you further your career, and you're just really talking to them individual to individual. Nothing that anyone else needs to know. And this time, like, hey, I know your schedule's insane, because he called NBA on TNT last night. He had a night game in Golden State. So he was in the Bay Area, had to fly back to cover this one tonight, and I'm sure he usually does Thursday night football on the radio, so he's probably going somewhere else tomorrow. You know, talk about Kirk Herbstreit smiles, but he puts them in. We had the conversation last week. A lot of fun. Known him for a while. Really, really good guy. A lot of people in the business. With the beautiful part of it is that you see them calling the game. Their style is there. Their energy is there. They seem like such a good person, and he's far and beyond anything you could hope to get talking to someone of his magnitude, just as a kind of as an equal, right? We're both talking about the game. We both do our research, and great conversation. Pod was a blast, and I knew that if I was able to get him, that our chemistry could finally be shown in an on-air way. Just such a good person, always rooted for him, and I think his ability to be humorous and use puns is something I've always tried to mimic without copying, because it's just such a nice style and a difference from some of the other commentators you get in the world today.
Hell yeah.
You think you can get him to come on Dog Chug? Or see if you can.
I mean,
We'll make fun of Marv Alberts and shit.
If we could get him at 10:30 on a game night somehow, maybe on his drive home, I mean, I would be amazed. I can't imagine that when he logs off from a broadcast that he's looking at a screen until the next morning. But if it's a
I
dream.
wouldn't want you to be responsible if anything happened and he did come on.
I mean, I don't know. He would probably have to come in on.
I think he can hang with us, though.
Hey, he's got to get his beverage of choice going, and then he's got to get that cleared. Hey, Nets, you mind if I pop a little of this, even though they're not a team sponsor? It was a lot of fun. I'm glad to be here tonight. Glad we could finally get this in.
Nice.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right, so we're gonna do a little game we like to play on here called Sip Chug, which basically I'm gonna read some statements. If you strongly agree, you're gonna pronounce. You're gonna chug, proclaim. Is that the word I was looking for? Oh my god! If you strongly disagree, you're gonna spit, and if you're somewhere in the middle, you're gonna sip and explain why.
Okay.
We're gonna start with Roger. Roger, you are allowed to sip today.
All right.
So let's go. The Cavs over-under is set at 50.5 games this season, and they're going to go over. Roger's going to go first. Then we'll go around.
Yeah.
There's an order. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna chug on it. I'm gonna chug.
You going to give us any reason why you're chugging, or just doing the chug?
I'm gonna defer to Zach.
All right.
So I'll also chug. I got my favorite glass of H2O this evening.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, shout out to H2O. You know, good old Brita filter coming through.
Hell yeah.
I'm confident in their abilities. I know today looked very rough at times. They've only had 3 or 4 reliable guys throughout the course of the game, maybe 5. Okoro being the number 2 option at times was not what any of us expected, but they're 1-0. They're going to get Jarrett back, going to get Dean back, and I think with the extra roster spot, come buyout time, they'll get somebody. If Amani Bates proves himself in the G League, he'll come up at some point and win them some games. They got shooters at the end of the bench with him and Merrill. Isaiah Mobley could be ready, Evan's older brother. A lot of things to be positive about. The fact that they pulled this out on a day where LeVert was 4 of 17, Jarrett was gone. They had some horrible fourth quarter stretches. They gave it to the man that they traded a lot for, and Donovan Mitchell starts the season by showing us that last year the Knicks are a distant memory.
Nice.
Nice. Wow.
I'm gonna defer to Zach as well and just
Right. Chugging on that. Chugging on Zach.
well said. Cassandra, you know a lot about Cavs.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in football mode, but I watched the game tonight. Super exciting. I think I'm gonna go with a chug on this one.
All right. Me and Andy are just gonna like lick paint chips over here. You guys talk basketball.
So, I saw that the Cavs were predicted to, I think, go win 48. But after I saw the Cavs play tonight, I think that the addition of Strus has been awesome. I mean, that guy was shooting the lights out tonight, and if we can get that kind of play from him night in and night out, there is no reason why the Cavs can't win over 50 games. He spreads the floor really well, and he was great at pushing the ball up the floor whenever there was a turnover or a rebound. And he has definitely sped up the offense for the Cavs, which is something that they needed. So
Nice. Love
Nice.
that.
Okay.
He definitely showed out tonight. So you think he's going to have like 800 3 points this season?
I mean, I didn't know who the hell Strus was until, the playoffs in Miami. I was like, who the hell is Strus? But he came through for, who was it that was injured? Was it he came in for Jimmy Butler, was it? Was it? Well, either way, he showed up for his team, and that's probably why the Cavs picked him up. But he's been great, and I think, gosh, if he can be consistent, he's definitely one of the best add-ons on the team that we've had.
I just want to add, if I may, Alessandra, my preseason boldest prediction was that he would hit at least 250 threes. He'd be invited to the three-point shootout, and he'd win it. And yes, it's only been one game. It's been one game, but he's the only Calf to ever make 7 threes in his debut.
Yeah,
and he also
franchise
added 12
record.
rebounds. Yeah, 12 rebounds to boot. No one expected 12 rebounds from Max Strus, but he looked like his college self almost when he was at DePaul, crushing everybody he played in the Big East.
That's awesome. All right. Now we're going to move on to statement number 2, which is going to move a little bit to the Browns. I know it's not your cup of tea, but we sometimes admire the outside perspective. So.
You've been hanging around with the guys at 216 to know.
Yeah. All right. So Deshaun Watson would play if he wasn't guaranteed to make all his money regardless of his performance.
And you always have the SIP option.
All right, Zach, we're going to start with you on this one.
All right, so just repeat the question.
So you believe that the reason he's not playing is because he's made all his money. What does he care?
No, I guess that'd be a spit. Opinions of Deshaun Watson aside, as an individual, we'll keep this very football for this. With him on the field is what's supposed to be the continuation of the Baker playoff run from a couple of years ago. You pay him the big bucks. He had, even though his last season in Houston was a disgrace, they went 4-12, and then obviously everything else happened. But the years prior, he got them to the playoffs. And I think ever since blowing 24-0 to KC, something's been off. He hasn't had that many games since. He had the 16 games, then missed a year, then started the 6. So you consider everything about Watson's performance. And because of the time off, it's very rare for a quarterback to miss almost 2 full years and then be expected to just come and revert to that even form. So I think confidence issues are still there. We don't know the exact vibe between him and the team, but I think it's strong enough that if he's on the field, they will have his back. And I think right now he's just not himself. He shouldn't have started last week. If he's 100%, put him out there. If he's anything less, it was really ugly on Sunday. There's no other way to look at it. If not for Myles Garrett, they'd be 3-3. And of course, Pierre Strong came through, and Ford had a couple of big runs. He had the long touchdown to start. But Myles Garrett is the biggest reason they won that game. The field goal, strip sack in the end zone, couple other huge ones. If Deshaun's healthy, he'll play. You're not going to stick with P.J. Walker. And even if you trade for Jacoby Brissett, was that no trade thing true about?
No. Dog Chug reported it. It could be true.
Well, nonetheless, if Brissett's an option, I mean, I wouldn't go trade for a quarterback right now because that's just going to mess up a lot of. I think they're going to screw up the locker room if you try anything else like that. So just stay with PJ for right now. See what you got. You probably wish you didn't trade Josh Dobbs right now, but it is what it is. Stick with what you got. You do have Dorian if you absolutely need a switch. And they're 4-2. The division's heating up across the board right now, and they're right in the mix. When he's right, he'll play, and he'll get them enough wins so that they can stay in the conversation.
All right. Well done. I am going to also spit on this one.
Oh, that's a big one.
This is so. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and I don't know what's going on. Like Zach mentioned, between the player and the coach and the team, but I do have eyes, and I did watch a guy who couldn't really throw a football on Sunday. I don't know why he was out there, but I'm going to put that on a lot of people and not just on Deshaun. Clearly, he is injured. Clearly, he needs to get over his injury. Maybe he's not rehabbing as efficiently as he should. Like he's not Nick Chubb where he's going all out. But I believe his shoulder will heal, and I believe he'll be out there. And then we can all evaluate this guy, even though we can't move on from him. So it's going to be fun. Anyway, Sandra.
I'm going to spit. Even though I'm going to sip just because I'm thirsty.
Fair enough.
But yes, I'm going to spit on that. I do agree with you, Andy. When I saw him playing on Sunday for those few snaps, his passes look flat. His arm looked kind of funny. Like his throwing motion looked off. Everything just looked off. And, I think that he genuinely wants to play. And I think that he was out there when he shouldn't have been. I think that there are other things that were coming into play, like you were saying. I've watched him since he went to Clemson, and the guy, he's a good football player. He loves the game, and I don't see, why anybody on his level would just sit back and be okay with that. Everything that I've seen throughout his career tells me otherwise.
All right, Roger.
Oh man, I don't want to get into this. I haven't liked Deshaun Watson. People think I don't like Deshaun Watson because of all the allegations. That's not true. I think he was framed, and I think everybody knows. I don't like Deshaun Watson because when he was coming out of college, he didn't want to come to Cleveland. He refused to go to the Senior Bowl, play with the Cleveland Browns staff so they can evaluate him, because they had the number 1 and the number 12 pick. And he said publicly he didn't want. Now he walked those steps back and said that he had a conversation with Hugh Jackson. Who cares? What you didn't show up. You didn't want to come to Cleveland. So I've never liked him. So I'm never going to believe anything out of his mouth. I think if he didn't have guaranteed money and he is playing for the next contract, I don't think the injury is enough to keep a player out of the game. I don't think he's hurt that bad, is what I'm saying.
Right.
I just don't. And I'm going to give you, this is the guy that he's hanging around with, Quincy Avery. This is in response to Chase Claypool getting money. He said, rarely, Quincy Avery, this is a tweet or whatever, an X, rarely do people get a bunch of money and become harder workers, better versions of themselves, but I hope that's different for bro. But he was talking about Chase Claypool. But this is a guy that is battling Brady Quinn and is our diva quarterback's mouthpiece, saying that about another player. The whole thing stinks, man. Who am I going to believe? The Cleveland Browns and University Hospital and their team of doctors, or what Deshaun Watson's camp leaks?
All right.
So,
I don't know what to say to that, although I do want to point out, though, any football player that had the chance to either join the Browns when Hugh Jackson was in charge or run like hell, I mean, they're smart if they ran like hell. That period of football was just the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that.
All right. Fair enough. Let's move it along to statement number 3. We're going back to the Cavs, and we're going to start with me, I guess. Evan Mobley will take a big step forward offensively this season. Chugging on this all day. Basically, I think that was the whole point of the offseason, was to find guys that can spread things out a little bit more and give him more of a chance to do what he can do well. And I think he is going to take a big step up. So I'm excited to see that happen. And I'm all in on Evan Mobley this year. Lysandra.
I'm going to chug because I like beer. And I think, Mobley his play has shown such promise. And I think for him, the sky's the limit. So, for him, it's all up from here. He has a great roster around him, a great support system. And I think bringing in Tristan Thompson was good too. Not so much as a player, but I think just having his presence as a veteran is going to be a big help too. Kind of show these young guys how it is in the playoffs and how to play under the big bright lights of Madison Square Garden, and all those all the things that go along with the road to the championship. So he's in a great place right now.
Tristan's going to teach Mobley how to have a child with a Kardashian and then have a big scandal. Roger,
among other things.
I'm chugging on that too, on all of it. What I want to see is a continued growth of Evan Mobley, because I don't know what the future holds with Donovan Mitchell and the superstar that he is. And he is a superstar. He is elite. Yep. I don't want to worry about if he's leaving, if Evan Mobley continues on the pace and becomes that superstar, that elite franchise player, to where that's our guy, not Donovan Mitchell, and I believe he's on that course through this season. And what they said, he came back stronger, bigger. And he's just filling out, man. He's still growing. So, definitely. Evan Mobley will take a big step forward this year.
All right. Zach, also chugging.
Yeah, so I think looking at Mobley, at least tonight, and then I'll explain why I'm talking about tonight versus the next 81. He opened the season against Nick Claxton, who got snubbed off the DPOI finalist list because of Evan Mobley. Now, whether I think it was the right move, Mobley was better last year defensively. But Nick Claxton's a shot blocking machine. He's a rim protector extraordinaire. Ended up with 5 blocks in this one. Him and Day'Ron Sharpe wreaked havoc at the rim at times against the Cavs. So I'm not holding this Evan Mobley first performance struggling at times offensively against him, because he's facing elite right off the bat. He hasn't started a season opener at center yet. I think he's still best suited to be the starting 4, filling in when Allen's not in at the 5, at least for another season. So with that said, as long as Jared Allen stays healthy and Evan can primarily play the 4, he'll take a massive step forward. I think he can be a 20 points per game guy, over the course of the year. Of course, that's going to depend on touches, because Strus won't be doing this every game. We love it. If he makes 7 threes a game, then Steph Curry should be quaking in his boots saying, I guess that kid from DePaul who didn't even get rotational minutes until his 3rd NBA season might be coming for my spot. Well, anyway, Evans really got a nice bag. He moves it well. Still got long strides. His jumper will be there. I think when they have the full complement of talent, he'll get there. And I think tonight was really just about getting everything going. You never judge a team on their first game. The fact that you start 1-0 means you don't point any fingers after one game. And he's going to be fantastic. I'm very excited for the growth. And I also think his brother Isaiah at some point could crack the rotation if they really feel that they can't trust the Damian Jones or a Tristan, although I think this is Tristan's first DNP CD other than the last week of a regular season in his time with the Cavs. So that's certainly weird, but I thought he would have actually worked better than Damian Jones for those short stretches in the second half. But I'm not the coach. I'm not the GM. I'm just a fan with comments. So that's that.
Hey, you've got Iron Eagle. So anything you say, we're taking.
I'll take it. I appreciate that.
All right. We're going to move on to statement number 4. Well done. We're going back to the Browns. And you actually already touched on this, Zach, but the Browns should trade a 3rd-round draft pick for Jacoby Brissett and pick up his $6 million remaining salary before the trade deadline next week.
No. Oh, sorry. I'll start with no, and then you guys go the rest of the way. I already did my part.
Lysandra?
Trade him for what? A 3rd round pick, you said?
3rd round pick.
I'm gonna sip. Our defense can only sustain us for so long. And we're counting on a practice squad quarterback. And our team in the offseason was built to win. So I think that the Browns should make a move, whether it's Jacoby or not. But I think something needs to be done for us to sustain this. That we don't have another bye. It's going to be a long season. And Jacoby is very familiar with our offense, obviously. And when he was here, we had one of the top offenses in the league before Deshaun came back. So I don't see why we wouldn't want Jacoby. But then again, I don't know what the organization is thinking right now. But definitely, I think a move needs to be made. So now that I think about it, I'm probably like chugging on that one. So, yeah.
All right. Don't worry. Roger changes his answer all the time. I can do it right now. Roger.
Oh, man. I don't want to go off on a tangent,
Why not, Roger?
but I'm chugging on it. They should absolutely trade a 3rd round pick, and then they figure out the monetary value of that 3rd round pick and extract it from Deshaun Watson's money. Charge him, send him a bill, and then what they should do is make him pay the $6 million remaining salary, and bill Watson for that. Because here's the thing, Andy, you just got new windows in your house, right? Say last year when you hired these window people and they came in, they ripped all your windows out. They even sold, you wanted in the future, you wanted 3 new windows put in. They said, nope, we're going to trade those away too. And then they come in and put in 6 shabby fucking windows, right? And then they take 6 months off and they say, we're going to come back and we're going to be better at putting windows in. We're going to put the rest of your windows in. And then you get like 1 decent window, kind of good, but then they're like, oh, we're hurt. We can't. So you're going to have to bring in another guy to come put in the windows, and you're going to make them pay for it, right? Because they guaranteed that they're going to do this job. Deshaun Watson took $230 million guaranteed dollars, and that's a guarantee that he was going to do a job and play like a franchise quarterback. And we haven't even seen this much of that, this much in the games that he played before he got hurt. I'm already tired of it. We got 3 more years of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Roger,
Zach.
you're too old for this shit, aren't you?
Right.
I mean, I'll take a. If he's gonna come back this season, why would you waste a 3rd round pick on a temporary rental? That just makes no sense to me. Yes, it's there. You want to compete now, but you're gonna.
I have no confidence that he's going to come back at all this year, to be honest with you. So
under the guise of him not coming back, you're pretty much using a 3rd round pick on a guy that you didn't keep. I think he wanted somewhere else because he knew what was going to happen, which makes sense. But I wouldn't come back if I was him. I mean, I guess it's not up to him per se.
right.
I mean, he's been in so many situations where we thought he was never going to see the field, and yet there he was. We never expected him to play that much in Miami. After he didn't, kind of knew last year, but he's been on a few other spots, right? I mean, maybe he'll end up. Sam Howell keeps getting sacked 9 times a game. They're going to need him to actually come in Washington. And they're somehow nearly 500, almost 5-2 with a couple of lucky bounces here or there. Should have almost had Philly, but I wouldn't. You still got him on the books for a few more years, and you can use that 3rd round pick to improve the talent around you in the other areas. Yeah. So 3rd round, any picks from the first 3 rounds are vital. I would not trade that for Jacoby Brissett. I think it's a terrible move if you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm loving everything that you said. I'm completely in agreement with you. If Deshaun's out for the season, I guess you could start considering it. But is Jacoby Brissett really going to get you deep into the playoffs? Who knows? I know we're all in and we got to go all in, but I'm not giving up a premium asset for a guy that's the most probable outcome is he's going to play 2 to 4 games, and then that's it. and we wouldn't even get him until the next game. So I'm spitting on this. And we got one more. Now we're going to switch to the Guardians. So I hope you can talk baseball.
Let's see. Find out.
Let's find out. Roger, we're going to start with you on this one.
Yeah, actually, I was hearing today, and the name escapes me. Pardon?
We didn't.
I'm chugging on it because I think they're close to finding a manager.
Hold on a sec, Roger. Just calm down there. You gotta let me read the statement first before you start responding to said statement. You might want to slow down there. All right. The Guardians will attract a quality manager in the next week or two. And by attract, I mean sign. But it will be someone that is exciting, not someone that's just kind of a hack. That was their fourth choice. Roger, let's go.
Oh, me? It's my turn? Oh, okay. I didn't want to. I guess they've been on. They asked permission to talk to Greg Council. I saw that. But they've been interviewing. They had a young hitting coach from the Astros. I love that. I think they're close. And then they were talking today, and I don't want to misquote it because it's such a crazy day. I just scrolling, and I saw that they had a second interview with another young I think he was a hitting coach. And I don't even know where he was at. But I think they're close. I'm excited, though, because of the candidates that they have lined up are just younger guys, just with good track records, with good organizations. So I think they're getting close. I don't think they're going to drag this thing out.
Thanks. Zach.
I'm going to stay neutral, but so I'm looking right now at the list of who these candidates are. And first off, it's pretty cool that John McDonald's could become a manager. I just remember my early years of baseball fandom when he was starting.
That is cool, man. I know. I saw. Yeah, that is very cool.
Him, Lyle Overbay, Vernon Wells, Alex Rios, Rob Barajas were my early days of remembering watching Blue Jays baseball. No matter who they're playing. There was a time where I was a diehard watching as much baseball as basketball. Those days did pass. But with that said, Tito was there for a while. So no matter who you get, you're going to have to live up to the expectation of what he did at his best. Looking at the candidates written out here of who I see, you got pitching coach, bullpen coaches, bench coaches, field coordinators, farm directors. I think a guy like Stephen Vo could be a move the needle guy just because. So I guess if you don't get Craig Counsell, Stephen Vo, he didn't get to the majors until his late 20s. He understands the journey and the importance of every little detail going into preparation. And once you get to where you want to be, understanding the pressure of winning and this and that. And I think when you get a catcher, they understand the pitcher and understanding how pitchers do their job. It almost unlocks understanding a huge part of baseball culture and blah, blah, blah. But long story short, I think they could find a Vo or a Counsell. I think Vo moved the needle. Guy who's a catcher, worked his way up. Joe Girardi, former catcher, had a lot of success as a manager, who wasn't a great playing catcher, did have an all-star appearance, but wasn't great. Vo was better than he was. I think he'd be good. So they'll find someone in the next. You said in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think they'll find someone, and half the fan base is going to hate it no matter what.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, living up to the shadow of Tito is going to be really hard for anyone coming in, and then there's the fact that the Guardians just don't spend as much. But with those two caveats out of the way, I think this is a great job, especially considering the other jobs that are available. This isn't a rebuild. We have an amazing group of young talent that could be molded. And I think the Guardians, for the first time in a hiring cycle in quite a while, they have a stable organization that isn't blowing it up every few seasons. So the only thing I'm going to say is I don't know that they cast a really wide net from what I read. And they're a pretty smart organization, I believe. So I don't know that they're going to get the guy that moves the needle, but I think they're going to get the guy they want, their top candidate. So I'm going to sip on this one as written, and I hope it's going to work out. Lysandra.
I'm going to go ahead and sip because I don't know too much about baseball, for one. But based on what I do know, and based on what I've seen, we do have a young roster, and I think it's an attractive position for anybody who would want to take it. Like you said, the Guardians are more established now, and it's kind of funny because I don't follow baseball very closely, but I do see there are times when the Guards are just ass and everyone is just really upset, and then out of nowhere you see them like in the running for the playoffs and that kind of stuff. So with all the play that I've seen this season and the talent that we have, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to find someone.
All right. Well, looking forward to that. And I think that does it for this week's episode of Dog Does. Does anyone have anything else they want to bring up?
I can't think.
Roger, you want to go another rant?
No, I'm done ranting. I've done it all week, actually. I don't want to start in on Buckeye fans because we'll lose views. I've already got 25 unfollows already, just over. No rants from me, man. Number 10 is my QB1, man. I ride with 10.
Hell yeah.
I'm PJ Walker camp. I'm a Browns fan. And I wake up every Sunday morning on game day, and I believe the Cleveland Browns are going to win that day. I did it for 16 weeks in a row, and we never won a game. So, I've had people tell me that I need to find a new team, young people that don't even know who never saw Ozzie Newsome play, So no, I don't have no rants. Browns, they're going to go to Seattle. And man, that's tough though, man. Going to the West Coast, that's the only thing, man. I hate West Coast trips. And every time I do a schedule pick or the beginning whenever I see we're going to the West Coast, that's one of my L's every time. But I'm going to say we're going to go and get a W. I don't know, some way, somehow, they're going to win another football game.
You're going to wake up Sunday and know we're going to get the win.
Right. Yeah. And up until then, though, I'll complain and bitch and everything else.
All right. Well, looking forward to that. Looking forward to the Cavs continuing winning and Evan Mobley's dominance. Looking forward to the Guardians finding a manager. I just want to say thanks, Zach, so much for coming on. You were amazing. Everyone Look out for him. He's going to be like the voice of the Cavs pretty soon.
Right.
Appreciate it. No, a lot of fun, guys. Always love talking Cavs, talking ball, especially first night of the season. First night of our official season. Last night was fun, but you get the full slate and you're obsessing over every box score. There's no religious experience that compares to that.
Oh, yeah. Say hi to Iron Eagle for us.
Right. Right. Definitely.
We'll do
that.
We'll do.
Do that.
Thanks for taking Ross's spot. We always love when you come on and playing the game and proving that you do know your pod squad. Lana, thanks for coming on and answering some nonsense questions in the middle
Always
of the day.
Always a good time.
Appreciate that. And with that, I think,
Let's drink up.
Let's drink.
Classic.
Go Browns. Go Cavs. Go Guards.
Yes.
And go whatever other team Zach follows these days.
You might not want to do that. If you don't know who it is, you won't like me as a football fan if we actually talk about it. But it's not Pittsburgh or Cincinnati, so there's that.
All right. Well, now I got to ask, who is it?
Baltimore.
I was just going to say it's the Ravens, isn't it?
Yeah, but I didn't know about the Ohio history because I picked them a couple years apart, and I picked them solely off of name and logo as a young kid and just wrote it out. So I was unaware of the
ramifications.
The Art Modell movement and the whole, we used to be Cleveland.
Did you feel betrayed that the team that you started to follow was actually stolen? It was like a kid in a nursery and somebody steals the baby out of the nursery and when they're 25 they find out that they were kidnapped out of the nursery and the whole time these people are strangers, not even their parents. That's what it had to feel like that.
Yeah, it's because I didn't know
Poor close.
I think it's because I was a fan before this happened, and it didn't feel like it was enough to rip it. I don't dislike the Browns. I wouldn't call myself the biggest Browns fan. I have nothing against the Browns, and I'll still post the Browns. We'll talk. I'll hop into some of the Browns discussions on Sundays. But at the end of the day, as a fan, as someone that's now had been doing either recording here or announcing live or doing something to do with sports as they happen, I gave up a long time ago on biases, on actually disliking, on any emotions during the game, leaving the game with them, whether I'm there or watching. When I turn off the TV when the game ends, if it's a win or a loss, still have stuff going on the next day right after, still going to live the same. You can be happy for the win. You can be emphatic. You can get on and talk about it. You can post 500 times about it. But when you're going about your regular life, I never put those two things together. The whether or not my team wins will not dictate my mood for the rest of the day. If they win, it'll certainly lift it. If they lose, it's disappointing. But hey, I can still watch the game. I'm fortunate that I can watch the game. There will be another game, and that's that. So I
gotta commend you though, because a lot of people, I met people your age that just like randomly become Browns fan, and I'm like, why? And I'm like, they don't strike me as like, sometimes not the sharpest people. So I gotta commend you that you didn't fall into that trap.
No,
that you at least you picked a team and you're like enjoying victories and wins. Like people that just like randomly became Browns fans, I just don't understand it. I had no choice. I had no choice, man.
I was born this way.
It's like I was indoctrinated. So I commend you on that because, man, thank everything that you're not a Browns fan.
I'll close my last line of the day. I'm the weirdest sports fan you'll meet, and it's weird because all three teams are from the same coast, but I'm a Nationals, Ravens, Cavs fan. They've all won championships, but there's no reason to like all three. I don't like the Nationals. The reason I like the Ravens. I don't like the Ravens. I don't like the Orioles, even though I like the Ravens. I don't root for the other Cleveland sports teams. I did root for the Guards in 2016 against Chicago, the way I root for the Cavs. So it's definitely weird that I can dislike a team that shares a stadium with another team that I love in the same place. But I've been loyal to all three since 03, 05, and 06, respectively. So when I was young, and here we are now, almost 2024.
All right. Well, I respect it.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Me too.
So let's try and end this again. Go Browns, go Cavs, go Guardians, and
New Jersey
Ravens. Okay.